Radio Raheem here with the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, here in Las Vegas. We are looking at a matchup, a rematch, that actually has, I think, a more potential as a super fight than has been seen from the attention and interest that it's gotten over this week. So both of us haven't seen the first fight. Obviously, we've already got your analysis there. Did you see anything in the build-up to this fight, in the gym, on the scales, that make you think this thing ends differently?
It could end differently just on the basis that the first fight was so close, So I think what you saw is two very focused guys, two guys that dislike each other. And this is going to happen when, you kind of been in the ring with each other. You know how dangerous your opponent is to you. And you're both looking into each other's eyes and you both know, listen, I know this guy's dangerous to me. So it kind of builds that animosity, because you know how dangerous he is, but he wants to be better than you and you want to be better than him. So, and you got to fight. So it builds that automatic tension, automatic animosity. But I saw two very focused fighters today at the weigh-in. I saw two very focused fighters, two guys that look ready mentally and physically. I expect a similar fight to the first as far as tactically speaking. I think Andre's going to try to take it to the trenches. It's just a matter of what adjustments Kovalev makes to that. I think Kovalev is a good enough boxer to where Andre knows he can't box him for 12 rounds. Andre's probably a better overall boxer, but Kovalev is not a bad boxer. He's one of those Eastern European branded boxers where technique and talent is enough to where you can set up your opponents. You can get them out of there. You know why? Because you can hit him. You can get him out of there. Kovalev has that power, and if he's able to get that extension on that right hand, he hurts you. So Andre knows this. He knows this is a guy. Maybe I can outbox, but I can't outbox him every second of every round. So there's a danger that I can be hit. So what does he do? He takes it to the trenches. He goes inside. We know Andre's been capable of doing that. He's done it to Edison Miranda. He did it to Milton Kessler, if we remember. He did it to Frach in some spots. So we know he can do that. It's like the ace in his sleeve, and he did that with the Kovalev in the first fight. And that's, I think it threw Kovalev a little bit off, where he didn't know what to do on the inside, especially once he'd had Andre down already. It confused him a little bit. You don't usually think that as a bully, the guy's going to try to bully you back. So I think it mentally kind of offset Sergey a little bit. I think that's probably been one of the main adjustments they've worked on in camp. So it's going to be interesting because, again, I do believe Andre knows he can't outbox Sergey every second of every round. So he's going to take it back to those trenches. It's going to be similar again. The trick is, what adjustments does Sergey make to now not look so confused on the inside when Andre's using his head, trying to free his hands any way he can and just throw any kind of punches he can. What adjustments have you made to counteract that? And that's going to be probably the key to the fight. I think the game planning is going to be very similar. Any
fighter I talk to will tell me that boxing is more mental game even than physical. You were a guy who liked to wind guys up sometime, get under guys' skin. Obviously, this has happened with Kovalev. He's very irritated at minimum, maybe angry at best. Does that play a part in this fight, and you think that can help him, or would it hurt him?
I think it can help Kovalev. Here's why. Usually, if a guy's too emotional and he's not an aggressive kind of fighter, he's a laid-back kind of fighter, counterpuncher, slickster, you probably want to stay laid back. You want to keep your emotions in check. If you're a stalker, predator type of fighter, type of boxer, if you're a guy who's looking to go for the kill every time, maybe having a little bit extra of mean streak doesn't hurt you, because you're already a guy who naturally wants to go for it, so maybe it makes you a little bit more focused, having that anger, it'll put you the target more in trajectory for you mentally, so I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing for Kovalev to be charged up. Andre might like it that way. Andre might want to get you because Andre's so mentally strong himself. He just wants to play games with you because on fight night, Andre knows he's going to be mentally strong regardless. So I think if both guys come in with that mental strength and physical strength, these are the two best light heavyweights in the world for a reason. They're going at it for the second time. You couldn't tell them apart the first time around. Yeah, I think you're going to have a fight where you're going to have a hard time telling them apart again tomorrow night. So everything's on the line.
Well, for as little fanfare as this fight is getting, as opposed to how much I think it should get, the overwhelming conversation in the boxing world and now in the MMA world as well, obviously, is this announcement that Mayweather and Conor McGregor are going to get it on. And when that, we've all talked about it for at least over a year, but knowing now, when you heard it was official, this is definitely happening, we're going to have to deal with this. What was your initial reaction, your gut reaction when you found this out?
I was curious. I've been hearing it was going to get made from my bosses at Showtime. I thought it was interesting, but I thought, at the end of the day, here's the way I look at it. People are curious about this. You know, there's only boxing fans really kind of know what's going to happen, but everybody else thinks like this is a real good fight. There's a curiosity about it, and because there's a curiosity about it, what happens when people are curious? They want that curiosity satisfied, so they'll, you know, they're gonna want to watch, and it's gonna cause selling of a lot of the pay-per-views. Think about the highlight packages they're gonna put together for these guys. You know, you can make anybody look great on a highlight package. You know what I'm saying? Like you can make me look like a knockout artist on a highlight package. You know what I'm saying? Like a highlight package can sell you anything. So you're gonna have highlight packages of both fighters destroying opponents, landing great shots, great combinations. By the time you get to August 26th, so many people will be sold on this fight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be some fun promotional stuff. It's going to be some fun press conferences. And I think if you take it with a grain of salt and look at it, how much fun the event is going to be and the spectacle is going to be, you won't be so disappointed when you get the result. You know what I'm saying? Because the result is probably going to be a non-competitive fight. If you're looking at what Conor McGregor can achieve, a win is probably out of the question. The curiosity has to be about Conor McGregor. Can he achieve more than you're expecting? Can he make it not a one-sided beating? Can he have certain moments? All Conor has to do really to achieve a moral victory is have one or two good moments in the fight, and all of a sudden he's overachieved. So it's kind of low expectations, really. If Conor manages to land one shot and hurts Mayweather, and that's it, he can catch a beating for 5 straight rounds and get stopped after that. But people are going to talk about, wow, he hurt him. Imagine, you know what I mean? Or if he lands a couple of good combinations, people are going to think, whoa, you know, wow, you remember that? Because the expectation is he's going to get taken out rather easily. So anything is an overachieving moment for Conor McGregor, and I think that's more what you're angling for. Can Conor McGregor overachieve a little bit? He can't win. Can he overachieve? That's more so what you're looking for.
But that actually is the best breakdown or hype job for this fight that I've heard so far. If we move on now to two real fighters, both being real fighters, I mean, and a real competition that we've been waiting for more, even longer than some people have been waiting for McGregor and Mayweather. When we look at Triple G and Canelo finally signing on the dotted line, ready to get it on in just a couple of months here, has the wait been worth it for Canelo? Is Triple G slipping in that this is a better fight for him now than it would have been 2 years ago? How do you see it?
I don't see it that way. I mean, listen, time is never a good thing for anybody when they're getting older, but I don't see it that way. I see it as Triple G, the last 2 fights has fought the 2 most athletic guys he's fought, and I think athleticism is what throws him off because he's a bit flat-footed. Kell Brook is athletic. Danny Jacobs is athletic. You know, the athleticism throws him off. Canelo's not very athletic. You know, he's got some speed, he's got some snap to his punch, he's got some explosiveness, but he's pretty flat-footed. I think at the end of the day, to give Golovkin problems, you need to have some kind of athleticism and have defensive ability behind that athleticism. Canelo's offensively very powerful, but defensively, he's got probably a lot of liabilities and he's flat-footed. And for that reason, you know, I think Golovkin takes him out. It could be fun, it could be exciting for a while, however long it lasts, but to beat Golovkin, you can't get hit by Golovkin clean. Because as soon as, whatever Golovkin touches goes down. Even Danny Jacobs, the moment he got touched, went down in the fight, you know? So Canelo is less defensively capable than is Danny Jacobs. You know, he may have some more firepower. Danny had enough firepower, but maybe Canelo has a bit more firepower. But the trade-off is just not enough. Danny's way better defensively than is Canelo, and I think that trade-off is going to really be what costs Canelo. It could be fun. It could be a fun couple of rounds. Canelo could even hurt Golovkin. I think Canelo has the power to even take out Golovkin, but I just think Golovkin is more complete of a fighter, and for that reason, I think he gets him out of there.
Lastly, Paulie, the fight that I'm really excited about, in addition to Canelo and Triple G, honestly, I'm waiting to see a guy that you've had your mix-ups with in the ring quite a bit and outside the ring, Adrian Broner, finally step in there and face a guy like Mikey Garcia at 140. Like, I think that's the right weight. Yeah. I can't wait to see what Mikey does with this opportunity. Yeah. With what we know about Broner, his history in the ring and out of the ring, and then a guy like Mikey who's so focused in the ring and out of the ring, how much did the outside, the lifestyle, the dedication play a role in that fight? And then how do you see it just physically breaking down?
I think a lot of it comes down to the mental capacity of both guys. I think Adrian, if I know Adrian the way I think I know him, regardless of his outside the ring distractions, he knows this is the big one right here. This is the one, you know, this is the one where you got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Having said that, Mikey's so consistent, so dangerous. You know, you probably favor him in the fight, but I expect a really good Adrian Broner to show up on July 29th, and I expect it to be a really good fight.
You think that at 140, is that the right weight for Adrian Broner?
I think so, yeah. I think he's too small to beat these welterweights. I think he can get world championships at 140. I think he has the ability to stay there. He's got to want it. Mentally, Adrian has to be there where he's got to want it, you know? There's things where you lose a little bit of desire, you lose a little bit of luster as you get a little bit older. The Granados fight, was weird for me watching Adrian. You know, I need to see him a little more hungry than I saw him that night. You know what I'm saying? And Granados took advantage and almost beat him. You know, I need to see Adrian a little bit more hungry, because even when he was fighting me, when I was moving around, the fight was competitive. When every time I was moving around, Adrian made sure he cut off the ring and came to me. I noticed a lot in the Granados fight. Granados just hopping around, circling, getting out of range, trying to dive back in, get combinations, jump out of range. But whenever Granados stepped back out of range, jumping around, AB was content to wait for him. First time in my life that I've seen AB not go for it. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of just, Granados would dive out of range, and AB would just sit there waiting for him. Like he was content almost. Like he didn't want to engage as often as he should, you know? I didn't see that in my fight with him. Even though my fight with him was competitive as well, it was a different AB. Like anytime I stepped out of range, AB at least tried to come forward, you know what I'm saying? And even if he didn't throw punches, he at least tried to apply the mental pressure, you know? I need that AB to be back in the Mikey Garcia fight, because Mikey is the kind of guy who's always consistent. He's always 100% focused, and he's fighting 3 minutes of every round. Even if he's not throwing punches, he's focusing on you, and he's honing in on the target and the trajectory of what he needs to do. I think you need to see the best AB here. And it's a competitive fight. You probably still favor Garcia, but Garcia's never fought at 140 pounds. That's the wild card ticket for Broner. The best Broner at 140 pounds may be a problem as well for Mikey Garcia.
Of these 3 fights, Andre Ward versus Kovalev, the rematch, Triple G versus Canelo, and Adrian Broner versus Mikey Garcia, what's the best fight?
Come on, I can't even give you that, man. It's been that kind of year where you're just happy all these fights are happening. So I'm not gonna disrespect one by saying this one's a better one than that one. You know, I'm excited about all of them. Just like I've been excited about the whole schedule this year so far. The schedule keeps not disappointing, amazingly so. You know, you expected the summer to kind of die out a little bit, but you've got some amazing announcements of fights coming up in the summer as well, and the fall always picks up. So far the boxing schedule fails to disappoint, and that's always a good thing. Another guy who doesn't ever disappoint at ringside, Paulie Malignaggi, the Magic Man. I have to honestly say, my favorite fighter to listen to break down the fights. You're always on point. I love talking to you. We always get a little bit of extra insight from Paulie. Radio Raheem with the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.